What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Reviews by Ryan channel. It is I, Ryan, with Reviews by Ryan, and a very happy Tuesday to all of you. It's Tuesday, April 25th, and I hope you all are doing well wherever you're at in the world at the time you find this video. Just a very quick, brief check-in here. Not much has changed from last week to this week, as you see with the ratings. All of the shows that were in the top 10 last week are in the top 10 again. Obviously, Oshi will continue to have a commanding lead in the #1 spot. This past week was no different. And, I gotta say, now that Ai's passing and the circumstances behind her passing and where this story actually is going to go is now slowly but surely going to start being behind us. And we are now starting to focus to the dynamics of what this show is actually going to be about. I still love this show just as much as I loved it last week. Obviously, viewership has dropped by half. We expected as much last week. If anything, I think you can say with Oshi that episode 1 was its own entity. That was its own movie, and now that was episode 0. And now this past episode was really the true episode 1, seeing how Aqua and Ruby reacted with their contrasting personalities to the events that happened with their mother's passing. Ruby wanting to continue to follow in the footsteps of her mother despite how awful her demise was, and Aqua who wants to do everything necessary to protect Ruby from how awful the entertainment industry can actually be to the person that's performing for other people. So we have a lot of stuff going on in that show, and obviously Kana is now back, and a lot of you have been hyping Kana up. I'm really happy to see what all the hype is really going to be about with her. And I do get this vibe that she's going to be a really great character to follow too. So this show may have started with Ai, but now we have probably what's going to be a very dynamic set of characters, including those that have not been presented yet, that are going to be on screen. And I'm very interested to see if this show will be able to continue to hold its high pedestal that it is held 2 weeks in. And so far for me, it's going to take a lot for it to lose its #1 spot. I'm not going to talk about all 10 shows today, but I do want to talk about 2 other shows. One that has actually moved in front of Heavenly Delusions. So in the #3 spot, I did give the #3 spot this week to Insomniacs After School. I was a little hesitant on giving it that spot last week because there were certain bits about Heavenly Delusions, particularly with the fact that it has a lot of different vibes between Promised Neverland and even Darling in the Franxx that I really, really enjoyed. And I still just as much enjoyed that this week as I did last week. But Insomniacs After School is just such a good show. It's such a feel-good presentation. The characters are very relatable. I love Isaki. I love Ganta. I love the new girl, and I forgot her name for the purpose of this video, but I even love the new girl that used to be what was the only remaining member of the astronomy club that they got to hang out with. She absolutely was a gem to see this past episode, and it's just such a good show. Again, it's a mix of everything that I got from Call of the Night. It just without the good gracious, I'm having a day today. I'm sorry, I just finished up a really long training with my job, so I'm all over the place. But it's Call of the Night and A Place Further Than the Universe and Yuri Camp. And it's just a lot of great elements happening in this show that I really, really, really enjoy. And I decided this week that I'm going to go ahead and move it into the #1 spot. It's been a really fun show to see. I love where the plot is going, and it just feels so homey and natural and free-flowing and such a fun show. So right now, my top 3 have actually kind of arranged themselves now. And Heavenly Delusions will probably trade places with Insomniacs After School over the coming weeks, but I know for a fact that Oshi is not getting moved out of its #1 spot, and Mobile Suit Gundam The Witch of Mercury is not getting moved from its #2 spots. Those are the 2 best shows I'm watching this season. I'm watching a lot of shows this season, and I'm really, really impressed with the performance, really, of all the top 4 shows up to this point. The other show that I do want to mention, it's at the end of my list, but I did want to bring it up again, was My Home Hero. I actually really love My Home Hero. I love where they're trying to go. I love the power couple dynamic between Tetsuo and his wife. But, the big thing is there are some plot points that don't particularly mesh with me, but it makes up for it with the fact that the wife and the husband clearly have done this type of thing in their previous life, because they are way smarter than an MC should be in a situation like this. They really think on their toes a lot, and I just love the dynamics that exist between them as they've been dealing with the Yakuza, and the fact that now they gotta hide this person that they killed, and now it's clear after the end of the episode that it's turned into a much bigger plot than it originally led on. So this is probably going to go from just them trying to protect their daughter from the dude, well, protect their whole family from the dude that he ended up having to kill that was abusing his daughter, to now he's going to be caught up in a crime syndicate, and it really comes down to how deep is he going to actually be involved with it before shit hits the fan and everybody ends up probably losing their life. So really fun stuff going on there. Not a perfect story, but it's been a really great story to follow. It did come in right at the tail end because there are other shows that are just doing slightly better, but I've really enjoyed my top 10 list, and I think that these are the best 10 shows that I am watching this season. I am going to talk more about the Kizuna anime and how I'm feeling about that next week. I don't really have the time for the purposes of this video, but I do plan to talk more about that next week, and I'll make sure to share more about my thoughts and why I think that show is doing as poorly as it has been doing up to this stage. So that is my check-in, guys. Thanks for joining me, and I'll look forward to seeing all of you guys tomorrow by 8 p.m. For the third episode of Oshi no Ko. And until that time, catch you later.